All right, welcome to weekly wrap-up Civil War edition, Great American Conflicts. Lots been going on in the last couple weeks. Number one, we have elected President Lincoln, who winds up in 1860 embroiled in controversy. The Democratic Party was split. The Northern Democrats nominated Stephen Douglas to be the Democratic candidate for president. When they would not adopt a platform to preserve slavery, the Southern Democrats elected John C. Breckinridge. Another party, the Do-Nothing Party, nominated a guy named John Bell, and the Republican Party out in Chicago will pick Abraham Lincoln after William Seward was seen as too radical of an abolitionist. Edward Cameron and Salmon Chase were seen as corrupt. Lincoln is elected. Abraham Lincoln will only win 40% of the vote. But that is a clear majority, 20% for Bell, 20% for Breckinridge, or 20% for Douglas, 20% for Breckinridge, and 10% for Bell will elect Abraham Lincoln as our 15th president of the United States. Following that, states will begin to secede, led by South Carolina. The Charleston Mercury will report the tea has been thrown overboard. Let the Revolution of 1860 begin, as South Carolina assumes her place among the great nations of the world. That act will spurn other states, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, Texas, to also secede. At a secession convention held in Montgomery, Alabama, Jefferson Davis will be elected the first and only president of the Confederacy. He is notified while he is at home in Mississippi suffering from a bout of malaria. What does that mean? Well, in Fort Sumter, one of the many forts to protect the East Coast, Major Robert Anderson is stuck inside Christmas Eve with 68 fellow U.S. Army personnel. They're stuck. They can't get out. Outgoing President Buchanan, the Do-Nothing president, tries to send them supplies in the ship, the Star of the West. It gets fired on and turned around, and Charleston Harbor is ringed with South Carolina militiamen. Pierre Gustave Toutant Beauregard, PGT Beauregard, is sent in to negotiate an evacuation of the fort, a surrender. Robert Anderson holds out until the night of April 20th at 4:20 a.m. Edmund Ruffin from Virginia fires the first shot. He was a civilian, and Fort Sumter will be bombarded. Shots are now fired on Fort Sumter. Robert Anderson and his men will evacuate the fort. They will surrender after 33 hours of bombing. One of his men, as the colors are being struck and a 50-gun salute is being fired, the gun backfires, killing one of Major Anderson's men. The flag is taken down. It is raised again in New York City, where a call for 75,000 volunteers to go and put down the Southern Rebellion. And that brings us to the tail of the tape. If you looked at the Civil War on paper, there is absolutely no way the Confederate Army should be able to last in this thing. Everything from population. The Union will have 23 states with a population of 22 million. 4 million of those will be armed for combat. They've got 100,000 factories supplying 1.1 million industrial workers. 20,000 miles of railroad, coupled with all the railroad building equipment, steam engines, locomotives, boxcars, you name it. 81% of the bank deposits in the country, and $56 million in gold in reserve. So whatever the Union needed, they could make. What they couldn't make, the Union had the cash to buy. This thing should have been over quickly. Conversely, on the Confederate side, the gray side, there are 11 states with a population of 9 million. But 4 million of that are slaves. That leaves a free white population of men, women, and children of 5 million, just 1 million more than the Union has soldiers. They have 9,000 miles of railroad, but they can't repair it. They have it's really insignificant to what the Union has. And the Confederacy has no currency. It's caught up in slavery and in agriculture. Just as in World War II, when the United States buried all other warring powers, the Union would bury economically the Confederacy. And the key thing that people forget is throughout the war years, the Union civilian population could feed itself. The Union outproduced the Confederacy in all agricultural products except cotton. And you can't eat cotton. So while the people of the South will suffer and starve, the army is raised. This is going to be fun. It's going to be quick. It's not going to take that long. We can get off the farm and see another woman named Ma, but they carry their own equipment with them. This thing should be over quickly. But when Robert E. Lee turns down the top job, it falls to Irvin McDowell as we get ready to hit the Battle of First Bull Run, which we will recap next week. All right, we'll see you then, guys.